Tuning into Stampscaping 101. I just had a lot of fun stamping this half-page scene out, 4¼ by 11 inches. And my only thoughts going into this one was I wanted to do a blue scene using some wolves. Okay, this goes out to someone in mind that likes the color blue and likes wolves, so I went with a longer format on this scene. I don't know, I didn't really think about it too much going ahead. It just happens to be the paper that I chose, but I really like the composition of this and having these wolves kind of, it's not single file, but kind of running towards this kind of directional light that I had in mind. I had an idea that I would have the light kind of coming, in a strong kind of directional format by having things light over here and dark over here. For me, that's kind of big because I usually have things kind of backlit and things on the sides are darker, and I like how that kind of contains the imagery and whatnot. But I felt that the I don't know, just having this kind of lighter area right here might be kind of more effective for the I don't know, kind of the message I'm kind of going after in this one. With these kind of these wolves like having a great time and frolicking, and they're all kind of going from right to left, so I wanted to leave that area light in there. Okay, now I did a couple things in there, and I'll mention it in the video if you choose to watch it, but the snowy bank here is kind of angled a little bit. I didn't stamp it just, vertical like that. So see, I mean, it almost is, but I kind of turned it up like that a little bit and stamped it like that. And that kind of creates a little bit of a visual movement within a scene when you kind of slant things a little bit. I mean, if I go, really extreme, it makes it a little bit more dramatic, but if you kind of skew things a little bit, it can add a sense of drama into a scene, and the extent of which you do it at, kind of controls that amount of drama that can be added, okay? And I thought that, also kind of reiterated this idea of this kind of light, how light kind of comes in at, like light beams come in at angles like that. I thought that would kind of lend itself to that spirit there. Okay, so a couple little subtle things if you choose to do a composition like that. You see how these walls are stamped in black, okay? Well, these trees right behind them, I just stamped them in a color out of my color scheme that I'm working in, okay? If you're doing something much more kind of straightforward in terms of like a high noon type of coloring scheme, and if you want your tree trunks to be like grays or browns or something like that, I would recommend doing them in a little bit of a lighter value than the black itself. And then what I did was I just did this simple trick of I colored it in, and then I just kind of wiped off some of the ink off the bottom portion so it stamps in a lighter value inherently within the impression, which kind of makes the bottom areas visible but yet lighter for my star kind of attraction, within this scene, the wolves, so they could stand out more, because if all these things were really dark in the background, these wolves wouldn't stand out as much, unless you want that to be kind of the spirit of the piece. Maybe the wolves are seen as something like where they're really tied into the landscape and you can barely see them because they're so kind of camouflaged or whatnot, so you can also do that type of thing. But if you want them to stand out, just make whatever you're going to stamp behind them lighter so that their silhouettes, that their shapes really pop out against those lighter values in the background. So anyways, a really fun scene, and I don't know, I feel that it's very reasonably dramatic a piece, and pretty simple to do, and you just kind of follow suit with all of your touches to reiterate that certain type of lighting direction. And if you watch this video, you'll see what I'm talking about when I get into the kind of the detailed areas using media like pigment ink and gel pens. So thanks again for watching. All right, so there we have it. The Blue Wolves. I don't know, that's not the name of the piece. That would be a horrible name, but a blue color scheme, wolf scene. That's what I was going after. And I just grabbed this piece of paper. I thought I was grabbing a quarter page, but it kept coming out, and I thought, let's do a half page scene of this. It would allow me a little bit more dialogue running across like that, and kind of reiterate my directional type of things, which can all be done. I mean, this scene would look pretty cool to me, and this scene looks good to me too. But the 11-inch kind of, I don't know, pushes that impact even more. The lighter transitions in here. See those lighter trees in the background, how much more subtle they are now, especially after we've added all these tones in here and have some kind of foreground elements over the top of them, and then we've followed up with a little bit more hero hues, white pigment ink over the top of it, and kind of pushes it back in the distance. But all added up, it kind of lends itself to this depth of field within this space, where you have darker things in the foreground and lighter things in the background, and also kind of helps in terms of directional too. We have kind of darker, and lighter as it moves out there, and then they're thus moving, running towards the light like that. So, and having a great time at winter time. So, anyways, wolves having fun. Hope you enjoyed the scene. If you have any questions, comments, drop us a note in the comment section. And if you like this video, hope you like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.